As the daughter of an immigrant, I've always had a really big passion for immigration and helping people be able to immigrate to the United States. It's not an easy thing at all by any means. This is really a partnership. It's an honor to be able to help them not only with their immigration process, but also with some of the tertiary things that they may need as well. We really want to make sure that this is a smooth and prosperous journey for you and your family.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'd just like to welcome you to today's webinar, Live Your American Dreams Through the EB5 Investment Program. I'm Sonia Clark. I am the Regional Director in South Africa for First Pathway Partners, and I'm going to be with Asif Chipa, which I'll introduce in a moment. We're going to basically today just cover the standardized process of EB5, and also the criteria which you should be using in choosing the appropriate regional center. And then from there, we're going to look at the important factors for the entire EB5 process, which Asif can literally break down for us and package it properly. And then finally, how the Tempo projects fits into the appropriate choice for an EB5 project. And before I hand over to Asif, I'd just like to introduce him. Asif is the Managing Director for India, Pakistan, and Middle East. Asif migrated to the United States on EB5, and he got his green card for himself and his family. He's fully redeemed his investor funds, who got the investment capital back successfully. And Asif will also be able to give you more details about the process as well as project selection criteria, as he himself has passed through the entire process step by step. Asif, over to you. I'd like to find out more a little bit, if you can explain about the EB5 standardized process for us, please.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much, Sonia, for giving this wonderful opportunity. So yes, as just Sonia mentioned, I just back in 2016, I just applied for my own EB5, and that's how I migrated to this beautiful country in the United States, along with my family, and that's how I got my green card. So EB5, employment-based category 5th, that's the government-recognized program. It started back in 1992, and after that, initially the investment amount was $500,000, and I was one of the luckiest investors who just migrated to investment program in the $500,000 category. And over the period of time, when then the USCIS and Department of Homeland Security decided to raise the amount from $500,000 to $900,000. So the amount has gone from $500,000 to $900,000 by the decision was made on 21st of November 2019. Since then, the entire industry, and then after the COVID situation, the entire industry changed dramatically and drastically. But first of all, I'll just take you through the entire process, how you should, what are the key factors about going through the EB5 process step by step. So, and then I'll take you through the different, various aspects of the project selection as well as the regional center selection, and how, you should do the own due diligence about the project selection as well as the regional center selection. So let me go through the, let me take you through the process first. This is the process where you'll be dealing with three different, factors. Number one, regional center. Number two, USCIS, and number three, attorney. Attorney will be the one who will be managing the source of fund documents, and who will be filing the petition on behalf of you and doing all the legal work. While regional center would be the the body where the project will be affiliated with the regional center, and the developer and regional center will be considered as a single part. So you'll have to careful analysis of the regional center that I'll explain you in the later stage, that how the regional center and project selection or the developer selection should be the criteria, and how you should choose that with your own due diligence. Once you have decided that I want to go with this particular regional center and this particular project, now you need to be very specific about that. A good regional center may have the bad project, and a good project may have the bad regional center. So it depends. But it's very important that sometimes the good regional centers, so you need to see the feasibility and the viability of the project, whether the project, because the most important thing that as an investor point of view, you need to get through your conditional green card and then permanent green card and the job creation. I'll explain you in detail, but first let me just take you through this process step by step. So the first step, you're going to choose the regional center, and you're going to choose decide the project, that okay, that I'll be going through this particular project. And of course, the very first beginning step, that you'll be retain your attorney to do all the legal aspect work as well as source of fund documents. The attorney as well as the regional center will keep a close eye on your source of fund documents. Once the document has been 100% verified by the attorney, then the attorney will ask you to transfer the funds from your home country to the United States on the escrow account or the operating account of the regional center. Once the money has been transferred, then the petition will be filed. And as per the today's situation, when I applied back in 2016, the normal processing time was somewhere around 18 to 20 months. Actually, I got my own approval back in just absolutely in 18 months and 14 days. But as of now, because of the COVID situation, things are absolutely moving slowly, right? So right now, the processing time is somewhere around 22 to 24 months. But I personally believe over the period of time when things will be back on track, and things are slowly and steadily coming back on track. So processing time will come back to the normal processing time of 18 to 22 months. But still, as per the today's scenario, we should consider the processing time should be at somewhere around 20 to 24 months. So once you are done with the petition, once the petition is applied, then you'll have to wait for like 18 to 22 months, depending on the situation. And once the petition is approved, then the USCIS closes your case and the case is transferred to the National Visa Center for the consulate process. The attorney will be doing the same thing. Over here, now, once you got the approval for your petition, the USCIS, that will be the third body, as I mentioned earlier, the regional center, attorney, and the USCIS. These are the three bodies that you will be dealing with. So once the case is approved by the USCIS, they're going to close the case and they're going to transfer to the National Visa Center and the consulate process. It depends on the visa availability of your different country. For example, South Africa, India, right now they don't have any retrogression because visas are absolutely current right now. But in the case of China and Vietnam, there is a retrogression. Retrogression means once the petition is approved, you will not be called for the consulate process until and unless visa is available. So right now for Chinese investors, the waiting period is somewhere around 4 years. For Vietnamese, it's 2 years after the petition is approved. For India, South Africa, and other major countries, right now the situation is current. That means the moment you get your petition is approved, you will be immediately called for your eligible for your embassy process as well as consulate process. So normal time frame is 6 to 8 months, right? Exactly, I got my visa consulate process done in 6 to 8 months. After the process is done, you will be given immigrant visa, and that will be valid for 6 months. That means you are supposed to make an entry into the United States within that time period. And once you enter into the United States, that means from there, within 6 to 7 days, you're going to get your social security card, and then you're going to get your conditional green card within 2 or 3 weeks. And that the moment you enter from that date, that will be your conditional residency, and that will be for 2 years. That means you're supposed to stay in the United States for 2 years. You need to finish your conditional residency, but that doesn't mean that you cannot travel back to your home country. Of course, you can travel back to your home country, and your children are going to be studying here. Your spouse can work over here. And you are entitled to work as well. So that conditional green card gives you all the liberty, except that you need to be in the United States at least for 6 months. If you're going to go outside, then you need to go for re-entry permit, that's what it's called, right? To give the specific reason to the attorney and then to the immigration department that's why you're going back to your country for a specific period of time. But just giving me my example, I frequently travel to and fro from India, even on my conditional status. So that is, as far as I'm living in the United States for more than 6 months, that should be all right. Once your conditional residency is about to finish, your window opens just right before 3 months, and then that will be removal of condition. Now, what is removal of condition? I'll explain you in detail, but for now, removal of condition, that means your conditional green card, we need to remove the condition, and the condition is the project that you have invested, that should create 10 jobs per investor, and that will be taken care of by the developer as well as the project of status. So the regional center will provide the necessary documentation with the help of the attorney, and the petition will be filed. Once the petition is filed, again I-829 that is called. So it is taking right now somewhere around, on an average, I should say 18 to 22 months. But for First Pathway Partners, we are lucky enough, and we have got a fantastic track record of the I-829 and converting all the conditional green card into the permanent green card, 100% track record. So we are getting a fantastic response from the USCIS, and our processing time, we recently got 12 months and 14 months as well. It depends on the situation. It depends on the project as well. Once we get your we apply for the conditional removal of the condition, the same moment your conditional status is extended for 18 months. That means you are still eligible to travel, you are still eligible for work, your children can study, and everything is going to be the same thing. It's going to take like approximately 18 to 20 months for your approval. Once it is approved, then you're going to get your permanent green card, and that's where your journey for EB5 ends, because you have invested the amount. Let's say, for example, today you're going to wait for like 2.5 years for your entire consulate process as well as the USCIS processing. That means you have spent already 2.5 years in your home country. Then you enter into the United States and you finish your conditional residency for 2 years. And once the conditional residency is done, you have applied for 829. Now you don't have to wait for your approval for 829, but as per the PPM document says, if you have completed your 829, applied for 829, and you finished the 5 years, including the 2 years of conditional residency, you will be eligible to have your money back. But that's how the entire process goes around. And in this particular process, the most important first factor is going to be your source of fund document, because that's how you're going to get your conditional green card. And then later on, consulate process, and finally removal of condition, where regional center and the project will be a crucial, very crucial, role to play. And then I'm going to be explaining you in future. Sonia.
Thank you, Asif. Yes, that is a lot of information to take in, and we'll gladly take you through that process step by step on an individual basis. For today's purposes, I'd like to ask you, Asif, what is the criteria when you're looking for the right regional center, and also for the appropriate project? If you can just help us on that, please.
Absolutely. So this is a very important factor, as I mentioned, because the first, conditional green card will be more or less will be based on your source of fund things. But now lots of potential investors needs to understand that that is not the end of it. If you have got the right source of fund, that is not the end of the story. Ultimately, your goal is to get your conditional green card and the safety of your capital. And number 3, your conditional green card gets converted into the permanent green card. So the choice of regional center is very important, and for that we need to go for the track record of the regional center. That doesn't mean that if the regional center new, that doesn't mean that it's a bad regional center. No, of course not. But again, being a potential investor, because I put myself into the other side of the table, my criteria was I want to see the regional center, how many projects they have done so far. For instance, First Pathway Partners, they have successfully completed 16 projects, and we are on the about to begin our 17th project. So that's how we need to see whether the regional center has got any particular failure. As I mentioned earlier, a good regional center also can have the failure. There are so many other good regional centers. They have got a fantastic projects, but they might have 1 or 2 failure as well. But luckily, First Pathway Partner is absolutely, focused and, do all the analysis and the economic analysis and the study in an appropriate way, to choosing right regional, choosing the right project with the right developer. So we never, ever faced any sort of failure, and we are damn confident and damn sure about that in future. The kind of selection of the, project for our individual potential investor, that would be the key factor. So, as far as the regional center selection is concerned, we need to be very careful that whether it has got any particular failure in the regional center, or was there any particular bad selection of the project. Now, if you're talking about the project, right? So if you have you're absolutely 100% confidence about your selection of regional centers. Let's say, for example, if we have selected the First Pathway Partners regional center. Now what? Now the selection criteria of the project. The project selection criteria is as simple as that. When I used to study back in Australia for my MBA, I did my master's in international business and marketing. We used to study the 7P theories. Over here, I applied that theory but into the category of 4P. Number 1P, product. What is the product of the project? That means whether we are doing any condominium project, whether we are doing any hotel project, infrastructure project, or if we are doing any particular factory project. So this is important to know, because your EB5 process is not only about the developing that project. Ultimately, the project will be developed, but you need to make sure the product or the project itself should be refinanced or should be sold in an appropriate way. So the amount will be given back to the lien investors, and your first lien as well as second lien of the investors as well. So these are the very important factor in order to decide what product you are choosing as your as a part of your project. Infrastructure project, hotel projects, condominium projects, they are always good, but that is not the end of it. The product is good, but second P is the most important as well. the place, that means the location. So for example, if we are building a hotel, it's a brand name, absolutely, it's going to be fantastic thing, and the project will be completely, built right on time. The developer is fantastic, having the perfect track record as well. But what if the location is not right? Then how we are going to, run the business out of it? The most important that once the project is decided, the location is equally important. Otherwise, how we are going to, resell the project or refinance the project in order to get the, capital back for the senior loan as well as the EB5 investors. So location is very important. Third P, people. People means regional center, of course, and the developer itself. So as far as the people are concerned, as I mentioned, for the regional center, it should have a nice track record, no failurity, the right choice of the project, and the developer, because we need to see the history of the developer as well. If project is good, regional center is good, location is good, but developer is not good, and they cannot provide you in time completion of the the particular project, and the job creation process is not an appropriate process for the through the developer, it's going to create the problem for the regional center as well, for the individual investor as well. That's why you need to see that the right selection of the project is important, location is important, but actually we need to see who is building and what is the track record of that developer and how well they have done so far in EB5 project or the non-EB5 project. So we need to verify that as far as the developer things are concerned. And finally, fourth P is going to be promotion. So that means when you have a right product at the right place by the right people, there is no chance that you're going to get deflated in that particular thing. So these 4P factors are the very key and important factors while you're choosing the right regional centers and the right project. Sonia.
My next question to you, as of the important factors for the entire EB5 process, if you can just highlight a few of those factors for us, please, just to put it into a bit more perspective for our investors.
Absolutely. So Sonia, whenever, being an individual investor, as I told you that, once upon a time, I was at the other side of the table, and being an investor point of view, I always kept the, the important factors. And when I try to explain and try to brief my, potential investor, I always tell them in EB5, if you are about to start thinking about the EB5, if you are willing to pursue the process of EB5 in future, only 3 factors are important, as I mentioned. Number 1, you get your conditional green card. So as I mentioned, the careful selection of the attorney, because who's going to take care of your entire source of fund documents. And once the document is verified, then the attorney is going to ask you to transfer the funds. And then in that case, you will be able to file your petition. So important thing, you get your conditional green card. That is the first key factor. Second thing, you get your capital back safely. That is a very important thing, as I explained earlier. The careful selection of the regional center and the careful selection of the project and the developer, that will lead your investment into the safety. Of course, in EB5, this is a very important factor that your capital should be at risk. That means we cannot simply put the money in the bank and you're going to get your green card. No, your capital has to be at risk, but that risk needs to be absolutely calculated, and you need to find out how the calculated risk can be that risk can be lowered down in an appropriate way. So the choosing the right regional center, the success of the completion of the project, and successful implementation of the all strategies and business plans on the timely manner, right? That's what the key factor in order to get your money back. Because if the project is not completed on time, so job will not be created, and then the most important thing there, right on time, you will not be able to get your money back. So this is very key factor. So the second factor, you get your capital back right on time. So that was the key factor. And the third and the most important thing, your conditional green card should get converted into permanent green card. Again, that depends on the success of the completion of the project, because we need to understand the job creation. There is a lot of myth going around for the job creation as well. So job creation factor is the important factor, because the job will be created during the construction and during the development of the project. Let me give you an example. Right now, First Pathway Partners are doing a fantastic promotion for this new Hilton Temple project. Now, over here, we'll be taking like 24 investors, and for 24 investors, 240 jobs will be required. So now that number 240 is the key number. If the budget of the project is not an appropriate, or if the construction or the development, business development analysis is not a proper, and that's why we choose the companies like Baker Tilly, right, to do the perfect analysis of the company. And that's how, according to the report of the Baker Tilly, this particular project is going to create 510 plus jobs. That will be approximately 21 job per investor. That is an extra, like almost double cushion for every investor. So that is very important factor, because once you finish your conditional residency, you're going to apply for your removal of conditions. Over there, this factor will come into the picture, that regional center and developer need to provide the documentation for the entire removal of condition process. And at that time, USCIS will review the project that you have invested is a key factor, whether it has created 10 jobs per investor or not. Most of the people sometimes are absolutely feeling, they know nothing about the job creation factor. They are just focusing on, okay, the source of fund document, we got your conditional green card. No, story doesn't end here. You need to be absolutely careful about that right selection of the project, so that the project should complete it in the appropriate time, and the right number of jobs should be created. And that will only happen once the project will be finished, and as per the RIMS 2 model, whatever the projection of the job creation, that is very key factor. So the third and very important factor, that your conditional green card should get converted into the permanent green card. Other than these three factors, your selection criteria should not be based upon the return on investment. See, lots of people, a potential investor are thinking about, hey, what are we going to get after out of this particular entire investment. We need to understand that we are not here for the return on investment. We are here for our green card. That should be the key factor. And the second most important factor, that the safety of the capital. So if our criteria is, the return on capital, I don't want to take a particular name, but yeah, there are a few projects available in the market providing, 6%, 7%, claiming 10%, 9%, 8% returns. Simple finance rule, high risk, high return. So that definitely over here, we are not doing a high risk business. Of course, capital should be at risk, but the risk means that you are putting your money into the development of the project, and you want to make sure the project is developed, the job is created, you're going to get your capital back in time, and the job should, so your conditional green card gets converted into the permanent green card. Other than these three factors, the selection criteria should not be based upon the return on investment. Let me give you an example. If a particular project like Temple Hilton project is providing a particular interest or return on investment to investors, and the other project is giving like 8% or 9% return. So as an investor, I should not think that, hey, this thing is giving me like 8% return, so that's an appropriate way. No, you should do the economic analysis and the viability and feasibility project based on the 4P factors that I explained earlier. This is very important. So that project might be the product might not be good, the location might not be good, or the developer is absolutely brand new and he has no experience so far, or the regional center absolutely brand new. So we need to understand the return on investment is not a key focus over here. The safety of the capital and our green card as an individual potential investor, that is the key factor. Other than that, you are not supposed to think about it, about the return on investment. If you are getting a return on investment in an appropriate way with a nice regional center as well as the nice project, that's an added advantage. But your selection criteria should not be based on that. Sonia.
Thank you, Asif. Yes, I think a lot of investors make that mistake. Obviously we'd like to invest as much money as we can into higher returns and things like that. But I think the important thing that we can all take away from this is to secure your capital. Secure your green card, and that is the whole purpose of you doing the EB5 process. Absolutely. And finally, I just want to how the Tempo projects fits into the appropriate choice for an EB5 project. Our new project, the Tempo by Hilton. As if I'm going to hand over to you, very excited to actually tell everybody about this. Thank you.
Absolutely, Sonia, and even the excitement is mutual over here. As I mentioned, that regional center selection. So why First Pathway Partner is the right choice for you? I have already given so many answers for that. But again, because of the fantastic track record, we have done all the perfect analysis of our past projects, and that's why successfully we have closed us every single project. Not only that, we have successfully repaid our investors the capital contribution in four previous projects, and we are in the process of the next few on as the time moves on. So the right selection of the regional centers, that the first pathway partners fits perfectly in that particular category, because we have got the fantastic track record, a great leadership of Mr. Bob Kraft, who is also a member, president of the IIUSA. Other than that, we have got a fantastic hierarchy of the top management, Daniel and Jennifer, who have done a fantastic job. And I'm being Sonia, and I'm being given an opportunity, to establish and cater into the market of South Africa, India, Middle East, and Pakistan as well, right? So it's all about the team of management you are working with, because ultimately, the people who makes the company, not company who makes the people, right? So people are very important, and that's why we've got a fantastic leadership of Mr. Bob Kraft. So that makes the first pathway partners in the perfect category, fits in the perfect category of choosing the right regional centers. Now, why Hilton? I don't have to tell you, Hilton is a leading hospitality company spanning the lodging sector from luxury and full service hotels, resorts to extended stay suites and focused service hotels. Hilton portfolio includes 18 world-class global brands and award-winning customer loyalty programs with more than 110 million members. So that's the definition, and that's the criteria. So Hilton is a brand, and we are doing this particular project again. The product fits Hilton. It's the best category of brand, and that's why it fits into the first P. Now the location, right at the Milwaukee, it is center, Wisconsin center, and it's a perfect location, because it's like it has got a 20 million square feet of office space around the downtown business center, and it's filled with lots of restaurants and shopping, and a great a location for the tourist spot. So that's what we are in the need for the location, right? And people, of course, that means first pathway partner and the developer, HKS Global, LLC. That's the leading developers in the Milwaukee region, and we have successfully completed 4 different projects in past. And as I mentioned, we have got 100% track record of converting conditional green card into the permanent green card. That means whenever we have chosen a project, a developer, we have successfully closed all the projects right on time. Plus, we have created, or the developer have created, all the necessary jobs required for the for the current investors. That means, let's say, for example, if we are in the needs of like the 50 investors or 500 jobs, we have created more than 800 jobs, 700 jobs, right? So we have got always cushion. With this Hilton Tempo project, we'll have the same cushion. We are targeting 24 investors for this particular project. That means 240 jobs will be required. But as per the Baker Tilly, analysis and business, analysis, we will be creating, based on the 48 million worth of budget, we will be creating more than 510 jobs. That means that will be approximately 21 jobs per investor, giving the absolutely double cushion value. Cushion value is important because the requirement is 10 jobs, and we are creating in 21 jobs. What else, we can deliver for our potential investor? So Hilton fits into the right developer, with the right regional center, with the right location. So of course that project is going to be a fantastic. Other than that, the description of the project, it will be like upscale select service tempo, by the Hilton. It is an 8-story building with 155 guest room, with 137,000 square feet of the total area, 4,661 square feet of the meeting space, and 4,570 square feet of the rooftop bar operated by the third party with the private terrace, and 4,548 square feet of the ground floor restaurant area with the outdoor sitting as well. And along with the 60 garage parking, and the total rooms will be 155, including kings and queen doubles. So that's how the Tempo project fits into all the category. It checkmarks all the categories of the right regional center selection as well as the right project selection. Sonia.
Fantastic. Well, I think that was beautifully explained, to our investors and all our clients. I know that even our clients that have already applied for the EB5, they also come and they come and listen, because there's so much we can learn throughout the process. I mean, even you yourself, Asif, that's been through the process. I mean, you teach me so much, and I'm grateful to you for that. What I'd like to end off with from my side is just to direct you to our website, www.firstpathway.com. Go have a look on our people. You'll find Asif there, you'll find myself there, and the rest of the team. From there, you can actually schedule a call or schedule a meeting with us. I'll be happy to share all the information, send you some brochures, speak you through the process, and actually see which category you and your family would qualify, whether it be EB5 or E2. But of course, today's discussion is about EB5 and EB5 investment, immigration by investment. And we look forward to meeting everybody that is listening here today. And I'd say goodbye till next time. Over to you, Asif.
Thank you very much, Sonia, and thank you once again you giving this wonderful opportunity. I really appreciate, and I am happy that if I can be a great assistant to my potential investor in future as well. And the best part that I've gone through the entire process by myself. So I'm glad that I'll be able to explain you more in detail. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me through my email, on WhatsApp. All the contact details are given in the website firstpathway.com. Thank you very much again.
Thank you, Asif. Bye, everybody.